So let's do something more related to our projects, right? So normally what we do in our Jupyter Notebook is to import, right? To import the various libraries. So in this case, I'm going to import, say, NumPy, right? I'm going to import NumPy as NP, right? As NP, then I'll NumPy as NP, right? I don't want to continue with NumPy as NP. Then I'll also import pandas, right? I'll import pandas as PD, right? Pandas as PD. And what else would I need? Okay, so maybe in the meantime, let me just use this one, right? In the meantime, let me just use only this one. So let's create some data frame over here, right? So I'm just going to create an object. Data frame equals let me see what I can do over here. Maybe np. Let me use random numbers, right? So np dot random. So the same thing that you can do in your Jupyter Notebook, we can do the same thing over here. So np dot random dot rand. I'm just doing some random stuff over here for you to actually see how this works. So np dot random dot rand. So maybe we can generate numbers from say 10 to say 20, right? We can do that, and then I can do st dot data frame, right? Then I'll put in my variable. There's the variable that I created, right? So I put it in here. All right, so let me save this and then go and see the output that I have. Now you can see what we have. You see that we have the random numbers that we generated, right? So let me expand it for you to see. You see that is there, right? And we've been able to put it in the form of a data frame, right? So everything that we're doing at the background is being shown in our app for us, right? It's being shown live in our web app. Okay, so that's one of the things that you can do. If you let me just separate this, right? Because if you see the one I did, I mean, showing information for range, and then the data frame that I created just put together like that. Let me just separate it so that you can actually see the difference anytime that I do. So I'm going to use st. Let me actually clean this. I'm going to use st dot test. Let me use test, right? St dot test. And then inside the test, I can just print some line there, right? So I can just print some line there, and then just duplicate it just duplicate it 100 times. Okay. Let me do that and see what I have over here. Okay, now you see that I have some line printed over here for me, right? So that was going to separate what I've done before and what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so let's do that, and then let's create another data frame over here, right? So df equals pd, right? So the same thing that we do in our Jupyter Notebook is the same thing that we're doing here, right? So data frame, and then we can use np dot, I'm going to use this random dot rand n, all right, random dot rand n, and then the same numbers that we generated from 10 to say 20. All right, we can do that, and then maybe the columns. All right, let me set the columns to, let me set it to say call, right? The column names should be call. Remember that what we did, I mean, we were not having column names. It was just having 1, 2, 3. I mean, from 0, right? From 0 all the way to 19 over here, right? So let's set some title, right? So I can use call, right? And then maybe I should do it this way. I should bring some placeholder here, right? So that to hold it in the memory for me. All right. So if I do that, and then I use I for I, so this form of a list comprehension that I'm doing over here, I for I, and I'm sure you are familiar with this if you've gone through the NumPy class. I'm sure you are aware of what list comprehension is, right? So for I in this range, that is the random numbers that we're going to generate, right? So for each column, right? For each column, we're going to put call. So it's going to do something like call 1, call 0, call 1, call 2, all the way to call 19. All right. So that's the column names that is going to actually give. Now, instead of just plotting this, maybe in each column I can show the the highest value in each column, right? So let me try and then do that, right? So st.data frame, and then I'll put my df here. Remember that I've created df, right? So let me just copy that one and then put it over here, right? So I'll put it over here. So instead of just printing it that way, I'm just going to set style, right? Instead of just printing it, I'm going to set the style. All right, so the style that I want is actually to highlight. All right, I want to actually highlight. Okay, so highlights underscore max. I want to highlight the maximum in each of them, right? And then I'll say axis equals 1. Right, just to show that I want to show this in the column, right? So let me run that and see what I have. Let me see the error that I have. Invalid syntax. Div pd dot blah 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 blah. Okay, this is where the error is. Let me go and see. You see where the arrow is pointed, right? Where the arrow is pointed is where the error is. So let me go there and then see what I did over there. Oh, I'm not supposed to bring this comma, right? So that's it. Now everything works fine. Now you can see what we have, right? So this one, earlier on we just plotted this. Now you can see the maximum number in each of the columns will be printed out, right? So if you go into each of these columns, you can see that the maximum number in each of the column will actually be highlighted, right? In each of the columns will be highlighted for us. Okay, so you can also do this, right? Just like in SL, you can highlight this, right? You can do that. And this is just as simple as that. Just this small code over here, right? You just solely this, right? It will help you to do that. Okay, so these are just random numbers that I generated. So let me just get a space over here. Okay, let me just print this line again, right? Let me copy it and then bring it here so that I'll have another line, right? So I just want to plot another line over here so that it will separate whatever that I'm doing right now. All right, so let me do it. So let me save it, then come back here and see. Now you see that there's a line there. So I'm going to do a different thing again. All right. Now, let me see what I can do. Maybe I should start displaying some charts. So let me do this. Display chart. All right, so let's see what we can do. Maybe chart. Let me just name it chart data, right? Chart data equals pd dot data frame. Okay. Then inside that I can do the np dot random dot let me just, in this case I'm going to use rand n. Right, I'm going to do that, and then inside that I'm going to use, in this case, like that. Let me give it a column. All right, so the columns, maybe let me create a list. So instead of the way I did it earlier on, I can also create a list for that, right? So A, B, and then C, right? Okay, so maybe this is okay. And then in order to plot, so maybe a line chart will do, right? Let's start with a line chart. So st dot line chart, right? St dot line chart. Then we pass in our data, right? So this data that we want to plot, let me pass it in here. And then in order for me to display this, right? In order for, let me first save it and then come here and see, right? So it's running. It's not actually going to do anything over there, right? Range got an unexpected keyword columns. Okay, fine. So data frame Okay, so now you can see that we have it over there, right? So you can see that we have our line chart, right? So you can do this for I mean different plots. You can do this for different plots. So let's say I want to do instead of a line chart. So let me bring our line again, right? So let me put our line here, and then maybe we should do. Let's actually generate a new data set altogether, right? Or maybe use the same thing. So let me use st dot. Let me see what area chart will also do. Let's try area chart, right? So there are several, I mean, charts in here that you can actually try. I'm just doing these things randomly for you. Okay, I'm just doing this randomly for you so that you actually get an idea of the things that you're supposed to do, right? So let me save this and then see what has happened, right? So now you can actually see, right? You see what we have. This is an area chart that we have, right? You can expand each of these. Right? You can zoom in and zoom out, right? As you want, right? You can zoom in, you can zoom out as you wish, all right? And then you also have this option where you can save, right? You can save as SVG or PNG, right? So you can view source, you can view compile, very open in. I mean, there's some editor too that you can actually see it over there. So there are a lot of things that you can actually do, right? There's a lot of things that you can actually do. So let's just explore more of these features. Let's explore more of these features before we move on to do some different other stuff, right? So that is area chart. Maybe we can also do let's do bar chart, right? Let's do bar chart. So let me even maybe increase this from maybe 10. Let me do it over here again. Oh yeah, this one. Let me bring it here. So maybe instead of say 20, right? Let me just increase it to 50. Right? Let me just increase it to 50, and then I'm going to do st. Right? Let me do st dot. Let me do bar chart, right? In this case, let me do bar chart. So I've done it for area chart, line chart. So let me do it for bar chart, and then I'll pass in our data here. All right, let me do that. Now let me save it and then come back here. Now you see that it's running, right? Now you see we have it over there, right? We have it over there. We have our bar chart over there, right? So you can actually do a lot of different charts, right? So maybe let's try using matplotlib over here, right? Let's try using matplotlib over here. So I'm going to import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt, right? Let's do that. So now if I do that, right, I can now do let me do maybe this, just any variable at all, right? This, and then I'll use my np dot random dot rand. In this case, let me use normal, right? So np dot random dot normal as a normal distribution. Right, so I'm going to get a normally distributed variables. So one, yeah, let me do this and then set the size. Maybe size equals let me see, let me use size equals 100, right? Let me do that. And then now I can use my plt, right? I'm now using the matplotlib that I just so that's the matplotlib that I just imported. So this is it, and then I'll pass in my data, right? And then I can set my bin size, right? This is optional, right? You can set it or you can stop. So in order for this to show, what do you have to do, right? Don't forget this st.pyplot, right? Don't forget this. Don't forget to add this, right? So if I save this and come here, right? So let's see, it's running. Right, so let's see what we are going to have. Now you see what we have, normally distributed variables, right? That's why I use the I use this one here, right? Random.normal, right? So that's what I use, and that's what we have over here, right? And that's what we have over here. see that we've been able to do some cool stuff over here in our app, right? So let's continue exploring this and then see some of the things that we can do, right? So after we get familiar with this, then we will start building our app, right? So let's see what we can do over here. Let me bring our line, right, so that it will keep on separating what we do before and after, right? So let's see what we can actually do over here. So we are done with this. Maybe we should use, let's try portally over here. So import portally, right? I can do that, and then I can also do this import portally. I can do dot figure, right? Portally dot figure underscore factory. Right, I can do this as maybe let me just shorten it to FF, right? That's good. Okay, so that is done. Let me see what else I can do with this, right? Let me see what I can do with this. Now let me go and then set this. Let's do some, let me write this. Then histogram. Let me write this so that's when you get to this, you can actually know what we're doing, right? So adding histogram over here. So let me do say x1 equals, let me continue using random variables over here. So in this case, I'm going to use dot rand n, and then inside that I'm going to use say 200, right? Maybe I should just reduce it by 2, and then I'll do this. Maybe let me just copy this and then paste it twice or 3 times, right? Instead of me typing. So I can do that and then do that, right? So maybe like that, or just maintain that and then maybe take this one off. Just trying to vary the data, right? So this one will be this one will be that. Okay, now that is done. So now if let me do this. So our histogram data, right? We're going to do it. Hist data is equal to, we create a list and then bring in this x1, right? We have our x1, we have our x2, right? We have our x2, we have our x3, right? So this is what we have. So let's see what we can actually do. Maybe we should give some labels, right? So maybe group underscore labels, right? Group underscore labels. Then we can create a list for that. So maybe group 1. So let's do it that way. All right, group 1. And then this one will come, group 2. All right. And then we have here group, that will be group 3. All right, so we have our group labels. So let's see what we can create over here. Okay, let's first start with a dist. Let me do it that way. I think we've done here some histogram already, so let's do dist plot, right? I think that will make a little bit of sense. So let me set my figure. Right, I'm just setting some custom figure. Now I'll bring my FF. Remember, my FF is nothing but portally.figure factory, right? So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use .create. Okay, I'm just going to do .create this create this plot. Inside that, I'm going to pass in my my hist data, right? So I'm going to pass in this. And then I'll also pass in my labels, right? Which is that. Okay, I'm going to pass in that one too. And then after that, after I pass in that, I can set maybe the bin size, right? So comma bin, bin underscore size. Right, my bin size, I can actually use maybe just some random bin size, maybe 2.5, maybe 0.5, right? Maybe something, comma 0.5, something like this, right? So this is actually done. This is actually done for setting up for this plot using Plotly. Okay. So what I can do is to actually plot it. So now I can use st.plot. Right. I can use this st.plot. I mean Plotly chart, since we are using Plotly, so I can rather use Plotly chart, right? That will make things easier, right? And then I use fig. We have use underscore, I'm going to use that use underscore container. Right, to set the container width, I'm going to use underscore container width. And then I'll set this equals true. Okay, let me save this and then see what I have over here. Okay, so it's loading. Now you see what we have, right? We have three groups, group 3, group 1, group 2, group 3, right? You see what we have, right? Now this is cool. So I mean, with whatever graph that you can do, whatever we were doing in Jupyter Notebook, right? You can do the same thing. You can do the same thing using this test editor. You can do the same thing, and you can see your results live in your browser, right? You can see your results live in your browser. There are a lot of things that you can do over here, right? Like zoom in, something like that, right? So if I click on that, right, you can actually see that. We have this being zoom in. You can also use this. You can use this one to actually zoom in, right? You can do that too. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can actually do over here. All right. Now let's see some of the things. Let's maybe do some more stuff over here. So we've already imported our pandas and then numpy, right? So let's see. Let me just create this df, or maybe let's bring our line. All right, let's bring our line over here, and then we can create another one here, df equals pd dot data frame. And then inside that we can just create any random variables. So np dot, let me use random again, and then this time I'm going to use rand n, right? So rand n, right? So I'm just creating some hypothetical data points over here, right? So that we can actually work on and then see how things are working. So inside there, let me do this. Okay, let me just divide it by, say, 50 by 50, right? Don't worry about these values that I'm using. These are just hypothetical values that I'm using just to show you some of the things that we can do, right? So don't worry about, I mean, these values that I'm using. They are just, I mean, random values that I'm using just to create something for you to see that things work, right? So maybe let me set it to say 76, right? And then this one, okay. So let me just run this, and then over here let me do ht.map, right? So I'm just going to print a certain map for you to see, right? So let me do this and see. Okay, we have some error here. Map data must contain a column called longitude or long. Okay, fine. Let me see what I did over here. Longitude or long over here. Let me see what I. Okay, let me do this and then save it. Let's come back again and see. Okay, good. Now see that we've been able to plot this map, right? We've been able to plot this map, right? So these are just hypothetical values. You can just change them to plot different areas. So you can see this one is actually plotting San Francisco area, right? It's actually plotting San Francisco area. So you can plot any area that you want, right? You can just plot any area that you want. You can just change these values that I've given over here, right? So let's see some of the things that we can also do. So remember that later on, earlier on, I was showing you some buttons that you can select. The data type you can select to see if there are any null values in there, right? So let's see how we create those buttons, right? Let's see how we create those buttons. So let me actually do this over here. So creating buttons. So let's see how we can create this. Maybe I should bring our line, right, so that we will be able to differentiate what we are doing. Okay, so if you want to create a button, right, what you can do is maybe give some conditions. So maybe if st dot button. So you're giving options to people, right? So maybe something like this. All right. Oh, I'm supposed to do that. Okay. Now, if with this, then what are you going to output, right? Then maybe you can just output something. Hello is here. I'm just writing anything. So if someone selects select a button called hello, then you should give this result, right? Else you can give a different thing. So maybe st.write. So if you want to write anything, you use st.write. Okay, you can do that. Maybe why are you here? It's something like that, right? Why are you here? All right, so something like this. Let's save it and then see what we have. Okay, now you can see that we have a button here, say hello, right? And then why are you here, right? So if you can just click on that, right? So this actually gives you an option, right? It gives you an option to create a button, right? So if you want to create a button, you can just use st.button to create that, okay? Let's see what else we can actually do, right? So let me bring the line again, right? So I'm just printing lines in between them so that we can actually separate. So you can see that this map is separated from this one that we did above using this line that I'm plotting, right? So let's just keep on adding our line in between, right? The line is nothing, you can omit it, right? But it's just to keep track of if you're really writing the code, you don't really need this line to do that, right? This one is to keep track of what I'm doing step by step, right? Now let's see some of the things that we can do, right? So let's just create something here. Maybe some genre, right? Change some genre, and then we can do st.radio. So radio is just going to create a radio button, right? So it's just a button that is going to create. You don't really need to worry yourself about what a radio button is. Just you see the results when I write it. So maybe what is you can write inside it. What is your favorite genre? Right, you can do that. What is your favorite genre? So depending on what the person will select over here, right? So let me actually do it this way, and then give some options here, right? So maybe someone will be liking comedy. Someone will be liking comedy. Someone will be liking drama, right? Someone will be liking drama. Okay. Someone will also be interested in, say, documentary. Right. Documentary. So I can give options like this, right? I can give options like this. And then so this is going to be the button, and when they select the button, right, what I want to show them, right? Just like if someone selects a different data set or a different algorithm, what you want to do after the person has selected a different algorithm. So you can use this concept to actually do that right now. If genre, that's the genre that the person has selected, right? If that genre is equal to comedy, right? If the person has selected comedy, then what should I do, right? Then I'll write this st.write, right? I'll do st.write. You selected comedy, right? Or maybe, oh, you like comedy, maybe something like that. You like comedy, okay? You can do that, and then that is one of the stuff, right? So if the person selected this, then that's right. I can also do elif genre. So elif genre is equal to say drama, right? So otherwise, if the person selected drama, then you can do ht.write. Then I can write, yeah, drama is cool. Okay, I can also do that. Then I can also do else, right? So if if the person doesn't select comedy or drama, obviously the person is going to select a documentary, right? So in that case, I can write maybe I see, just something like that. I'm just writing anything just to show you that that is possible, and when you're doing this later on, I mean, you can easily take advantage of this and then do it. Okay. All right. So let me save it and then go back and see what we have. Right. So it's going to run now. You see what we have, right? What is your favorite genre? So if the person select comedy, you see that's oh, you like comedy, right? If I select say drama, let's see what is going to happen. Oh yes, drama is cool. I think the is we wrote this together. So let's separate this, right, and then save it again. All right, so we see that is there. Yeah, drama is cool, right? If I select documentary, right, I see that is there, right? So that is very very interesting and very very nice, right? So very very nice. All right. Now there's, I mean, you can implement all these things that I'm teaching you, right? You can implement everything as you build your web app, right? You can implement everything. Now let's go down and then see what else we can actually do, right? So let me print this line again so that it will separate it from what we're doing earlier on, right? And then let's see what else we can do. Maybe we can do what is called select button, right? We have also what is called select button. So let me do it. Select button. Right, let me show you that too. So for that, what you can do is to set this. So that's actually going to give the users options, right? Just like we're doing with the radio, right? You can also do this. Now, what is actually going to do over here? Let me do this st dot stimulate, right? We have what is called well, maybe let me actually do this first. St dot select box, right? Let me actually do that, and then inside select box, I can actually write some stuff over here. Maybe how the person, so maybe so you can ask the person some questions so that you give them options to select from. So how was your night? Maybe something like that. I'm just giving you some of the things that you can do when you're building your app, right? So you get to actually know some of the options. So if you want to give users options to select from several options, these are one of the ways that you can do, right? So maybe how was your night? Maybe fantastic. Maybe someone will say, yeah, it's fantastic, right? Someone will like to say awesome. All right. Someone would like to say it was just so. All right. Someone would like to say oh, maybe 3 is fine, right? Let's just leave it to that place. So you have an idea that you can actually do that. So st.write right? And then let's see what we can write. Maybe your night, or maybe you said your night was, then I'll provide whatever the person said over there, right? So I'll provide the option. So whatever option that the person will choose should be there, right? So let me just save this and then see what we have over here. Okay, now you see how was your night. So if you select fantastic, you said your night was fantastic, right? If the person select awesome, right? Let's see. You said your okay, night did not come. So you said your night, right? That's what you're supposed to. Okay, so if we come back, you can see you said your night was awesome, right? If I select say so, right? You see that's there. You said your night was so. All right, so you can actually do this and then give people an option and then display the results accordingly. All right. So let's see some of the things that we can also do apart from this. So this is just selecting from just one single thing. Maybe if you select fantastic, it's fantastic. Maybe you want to select fantastic and awesome, right? How can you do that, right? Let's see how we can do that, right? Let's see how we can do that. So in this case, I'm going to let me copy the same thing and then give them option to select more than one, right? So let me actually put it. Let me first bring this one so that it will differentiate from what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so instead of select box, right, what I'm going to do over here is what is called the multi select. So that's the only thing I'm going to change over here. Then I'm saving it again. Come back. Okay, maybe I should actually maybe let me see what I can actually do over here. Or maybe let me just leave it like that. Let me come back here and then see, right? So there's it, right? How was your night? So there's a second one that I'm choosing. Maybe I should differentiate it with how was your night? Select multiple, right? Or maybe you can select multiple choice, so that it will actually differentiate it from what we're doing. So let's go back and then see. It's actually running, right? So now you can see you can see it's there. How was your night? You can select multiple choice, right? So over here, if I select say fantastic, right, you see that's giving me option to select. I can select fantastic and awesome at the same time, right? I can select the two at the same time. Now you see that it's there, right? Fantastic and awesome. So we said your night was fantastic and awesome. You see that it's there. So you can give them option to select, right? So if you remember, we're selecting different data points, different columns, right? So when we loaded our data, we were selecting different columns, right? So maybe some of the columns that you're interested in to visualize, or some of the columns that you're interested in working on, right? So here you can do feature selection, right? You can do feature selection when you have your huge data set and you want to select some of them. You can do that. Use this concept to do that, okay? Now, that is done. Let's see what else we can actually do, right? Let's see. Let me actually print this one again. Okay, let's see what else we can do after the multi select, right? After the multi select, let's see what else we can do. Maybe we want to include some slider. Remember that if you have say if you're building an algorithm like support vector machine or KNN, you want people to have the flexibility to do hyperparameter tuning, right? Like maybe changing the C, or if in the case of KNN, you want them to have the flexibility of changing their K, right? So you can also do that, or maybe you want to give them that opportunity. So let's see how things like that can be implemented, okay? So maybe let me just use a simple example here. So maybe I can do age equals, if I do st.slider, right, I'm going to use st.slider, and then inside that, I'm going to do how old are you, right? I can just ask simple question like that. How old are you? Okay, how old are you? Then after, let me actually put a question mark here. So after that is done, right? After how old are you is done, I can give a range. Maybe the person can be, let me just start from 0, so 0 to 1, maybe 150 years, maybe 150 years. Okay, I can give that range, and then initially I want my slider to lie at say at age 10, right? I just want it to lie at that. So let me go out, go further and then do this so that you can actually, you see that everything, after everything, we do st.write, right, in order to write the output. We do that st.write, and then over here, let me see what I can write. Maybe your ages, maybe something like that. Your age is, then maybe the age that the person gave, right? So that's going to be the age. So that's going to be that. Okay, so let's run this one and then see how it is. Let me save it. Come here and then let's see. Now you see that we have a slider here, right? How old are you? See now, initially you see that it's at 10. That's what I did over here. So you see that it's at 10, right? And the range is from 0 to 150. Right, that's what I see here. The range from 0 to 150. Right, so now your age is 10, right? Because it's at 10. If I increase it to say 59, you see that this one is going to change, right? It's actually running. You can see top here is running. And now you see that your age is 59. It's there, right? So you can give them that flexibility, right? So initially I put it at 10. I can put it at say 25, or maybe at say I can put it at say 18, right? I can put it at 18, save it. And then maybe the limit, I can even change it. The limit, maybe this is 150 is too much. Maybe change it to say 100 and then save it and come back. All right, now you can see, let it run a little bit. Now you can see we have now from 0 to 100. Initially it's at 18. So the person can slide it as high as he wants. So if you want to give the person the flexibility to change their K, so K could be 5, K could be 10, K could be say 20, you can use the slider to do that so that they can be changing their K. And if you for instance support vector machine where people have the opportunity to change their C and then the gamma, right, you can also do that and then give them that flexibility to be changing their C and then changing their gamma, right? So you can give them that flexibility using this concept, the slider, right over here. Okay, so that is done. Let's see what else we can actually do, right? Let's see what else we can actually do. So let's actually do this slider in a different way, right? Let's do it in maybe you see this one, we started from 0 and then we keep on increasing. Like maybe we can start from middle, somewhere middle, and then also do it. Let's try and then see that one too. So let me do this. Maybe it's all values equals st.slider, and then inside there we can actually do let me actually put it. So we can do select a range of values, right? You can do that, select a range of values. And then after that, we can actually set what range that we want. Maybe we want to start from say 0, 0 to say maybe 0 to 200, right? 0 to 200. And then after that, we need to set the initial values where the initial slider will be maybe from say 15. Maybe it should be between 15 and say 80. Right? So just randomly. Right, and then after that I can just do st.write. I can just write you selected a range between, then I'll just give the range that the person is selecting. Right, a range between, I'll just give values here. Okay, so that's what is going to happen. Now let me save it, Control S, then come back here and see. Okay, invalid syntax. So let me see what I did wrong over here. st.write values, comma is here. All right, that's it. Okay, so that's all. Now let's see what is going to happen. Okay, so now you can see the output. You can see the difference over here. Now this one was just starting from 0. You can only increase it here. Now this one, you can go back, you can reduce it, you can increase it too. Right, you see what you can do. So as soon as you start to slide it, it will start to run, then it will show you the output, right? It will show you the output. Now you see over here, I'm selecting from 21 to 165, right? From 21 to 165, so it's actually running, then it will give me the output that I did, because initially it was from 15 to 80, right? So now you can see we have 21 to 165, right? We have it. So you can see the difference between the two sliders, right? You can see the difference between the two sliders over here. All right, so let's see what else we can actually do over here, right? Let's see what else we can actually. So I'm just going to write this simple command. Let me see. Let me do say number equals st dot number. I'm just going to input some numbers, right? So st.number input. Then I'll just tell the user to input some numbers. Input a number, right? I'll just tell the user to do that. Then I'll do st.write. Then inside my writes, what I'm going to do over here is the number. I can just write the number you imputed is, so the number you inputted or whatever. Let me do that. So is, then I'll bring my number here, right, just like that. Let me do this, save it, and then come back here and see what is going to happen. Okay, so now you can see input number. I have input number, so the person can actually enter the number that they want. So over here, I can either use the plus, or if I use the plus, you see the number is keeping on increasing, right? The number keeps on increasing. I can use the plus, or I can just impute the number as I want. Okay, now it's whatever you do is going to run, right? It's going to run, and then it's going to give you the output over there, right? It's going to run and give you the output, right? So there are several ways that you can do this. Now you can see the number that we run. It's actually going to give us in the decimal form. It's actually going to give this one in a decimal form, right? So let's actually over here, maybe I could have just written it maybe like 200. So if I put 200 there, you see that it's asking you to press enter, right? So you can see over here, right? As soon as you put your number there, it's asking you to press enter to apply. So let me press enter like that. All right, so it's going to run, and then it's going to give me my 200. You see that the value is there, right? 200.0 is there. Okay, so all these are some of the stuff that you can actually do, right? These are some of the stuff that you can actually do. Now let's do some of the important things. So I think by now, from all the way from what we've been doing so far, from here all the way down here, right? So this is more visually appealing, and this is more understandable, right? So let's see, rather than showing them this raw code, right, you can actually show them this part. Just build an app like this and show it to them.